A Russian jet flew over the Ukrainian city of Poltava to strike a secret underground base with a tactical nuclear weapon. The bomb fell, spinning toward its target. Moments later, a blinding flash consumed the facility. Little did they know. In deep underground chamber, ancient chains snapped. In the darkness, something began to stir. From under the scattered dead bodies of Ukrainian soldiers, the ground cracked open, glowing red with the enormous burst of energy. From the devastated ruins and fiery smoke, an ancient demon climbed out, towering, covered in soot, and radiating unholy energy. Russian drones captured the creature on camera. Commanders watching the footage could not believe on their eyes, paralyzed with fear. Unaware of the nightmare ahead, Russian ground forces kept on advancing toward the ruined city of Poltava, expecting to capture it without a fight. But to their surprise, in a swift ambush, the demon vaporized the entire Russian armored column with a single blast of dark energy. Panic spread through Russian command, as all communications with frontline forces suddenly went silent. They were unable to comprehend what they were up against. In a nearby town of Okturka, civilians watched in terror as the demon marched toward them. Fighter jets of Russian Air Force launched missiles at the creature, but the demon absorbed the blasts without a harm. The demon retaliated, unleashing burning fire into the sky, targeting and obliterating the attacking fighter jets. They had no idea of how to defend from it. On the land, the Ukrainian forces stood their ground, but their weapons were useless against the unstoppable horrors of supernatural origin. The demon kept on moving north, passed through the city of Sumy, destroying everything in its path, leaving only fire and ruins behind. Near the border, Russian army was fully prepared for the battle, mobilizing tanks and heavy artillery. It was their final chance of stopping the beast from entering Russia. Artillery shells rained down on the demon, but they only enraged it further, making him more violent. The city of Kursk was the first Russian settlement to face the wrath of this enormous force, and fall, engulfed in flames as the demon marched through. Panic spread, as Russian civilians fled Kursk, trembling with terror and disbelief, clogging highways in a desperate escape. Desperate, and shaken to the core, the Kremlin declared martial law, ordering all adult citizens to join military units and stop the advancing creature. The demon reached the city of Voronezh, reducing skyscrapers and military bases to rubble, while Russian Air Force kept on attacking it from all sides. Meanwhile, Russian scientists were busy in analyzing satellite data and scientific literature, struggling to understand the creature's origin. As they searched for the answers, they referred to ancient Ukrainian legends, which spoke of a sealed evil, caged beneath the earth. The demon reached the city of Tula, tearing through the city's defenses in mere minutes. Everyone was too terrified to fight it. Russian Special Forces unit Spetsnaz, famous for their bravery and professionalism, launched a direct assault, but the demons slaughtered them effortlessly. As it was fast approaching the capital, Moscow braced for the inevitable. Millions of citizens evacuated, as Russian forces prepared for a last stand. Full might of the Russian military was waiting, as the demon approached the outskirts of Moscow. Tanks and missiles unleashed their fury, but nothing could stop the demon's advance, as it quickly marched through the capital. With a single crushing step, the demon reduced the Kremlin to a rubble, signaling the fall of Moscow. The whole city was consumed by flames, famous skyscrapers of Moscow crumbled, and military strongholds were wiped out. Countless citizens were perished. Realizing that the resistance was futile now, remaining Russian forces accepted their defeat, ceased their attacks, and guns fell into total silence. The demon stood atop Moscow's ruins, roaring into the sky, in triumphant domination, declaring the Moscow as his own. Across the world, news broadcasts showed the apocalyptic destruction of Moscow. World was watching in silence. It was unbelievable what had happened. The United Nations called upon all countries, held an emergency meeting, desperate to find a way to contain the creature. Led by United States, China, and European Union, all militaries of the world started to mobilize their forces, preparing for a global response. As all eyes were on Moscow, satellite images revealed something terrifying. The demon was building something within Moscow's ruins. It had made an underground facility and forced the captured Russian scientists to work in it, working under the demon's command. Extracting human DNA and mixing it with his own DNA, the demon began creating an army of humanoid clones. The perfect soldiers. The first wave of demon clones emerged from their tanks. Their white eyes were glowing with unnatural life, and muscular bodies perfect for dominance. A global military coalition started to surround the Moscow, preparing for humanity's greatest battle, which could also become its last, before total extinction becomes imminent. Special forces infiltrated the ruins, but what they found was beyond human comprehension. From the heart of Red Square, the demon watched as its army awaited its command, now in thousands. A sample of demon's fallen skin was brought to the scientists for analysis, but the demon's energy signature and radiation defied all logic. World leaders debated nuclear options, fearing they might only make the demon stronger, as it was a nuclear attack that caused him to grow stronger and break the chains. During all this, a mysterious priest arrived at the UN, claiming to know the demon's ancient origins. The priest had a book, which spoke of an ancient Ukrainian sect that once sealed the demon away, thousands of years ago, using supernatural means. With this newfound knowledge, researchers uncovered cryptic texts, detailing forgotten rituals that could weaken the demon, or enchain him again. Meanwhile in Moscow, a massive storm, the kind no one ever saw before, formed over the city, fueled by the demon's dark and growing power. Leaders of the top world's armies sat together and finalized their battle plans, preparing for the ultimate confrontation. In his throne city, the demon raised its hand, summoning thousands of clones to prepare for the battle and defend its new kingdom. Global military leaders watched the chilling footage, sent by the drones flying over Moscow, showing an army of demon clones stood ready for the war. Fighter jets of global military coalition strike first. They streaked across the sky as missiles lit up the ruins of Moscow. The world watched in silence, knowing that the failure would mean humanity's extinction. Many demon clones were killed, but, amidst fire and destruction, the demon stood defiant, its eyes burning with malice. As humanity's forces closed in, the fate of the world hung in the balance. The demon could not be harmed by any amount of firepower. This war was not to be fought by guns. A new kind of power was required. A supernatural power. To defeat a supernatural enemy. So, the search continued.